What do you want to say?
Huh?
What do you want to know?
What do you want to know? What is your key main teaching?
Did you read my books?
I haven't finished. It's quite a few books.
Yeah, read the books and you'll know. Main teaching is mindfulness. You have to first develop mindfulness. Because without mindfulness, it's like driving a car without a key. How can you start a car without a key, right? You have to get a key to get into the car, to start the car, to drive it around. You need to have the key, right? Okay. To get to Nibbana, you need to have mindfulness. You first have to develop mindfulness. So when you sit, you can have samadhi. And when you have samadhi, when you contemplate on the Four Noble Truths, you can then get rid of your craving and desire, which is the cause of your dukkha.
So if someone is mindful, how important it is that they lead the monastic life? If mindfulness is all you need, does it mean monastic life is just something extra that people?
Monastic life is the place to develop mindfulness. The higher kind of mindfulness, not the ordinary kind. You can have the ordinary kind in your daily life, but you need a higher kind of mindfulness. You have to be totally focused on only one thing continuously. Like when you sit, you have to be fully focused on your breath only, and nothing else. The other part of the monastic life is to refrain you from spending your time on things that is harmful to you, like not maintaining the 5 precepts or the 8 precepts or the 10 precepts. These are to protect you from going the wrong direction. You want to go to Nibbana, but if you don't keep the 8 or the 10 precepts, you're going to samsara. So that's what monastic life is to prevent you from going in the wrong direction, and also help you to develop the path to enlightenment, the path to Nibbana. That's what monastic life is about. But once you're in a monastery, what you need to do is to develop mindfulness. Simply keeping the precept is not enough to take you to Nibbana. You know the Noble Eightfold Path? Okay. It has the precept Samma Kammanto, Samma Vaca, Samma Achivo. These are the precepts. But it also has Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi, Samma Titti, Samma Sankappo. These are Sati, mindfulness, Samadhi, and wisdom. So you have to have the complete 8 factors in your path, in your practice. You keep the precept. So you have the 2, Samma Kammanto and Samma Vaca, Samma Achivo, right livelihood. This is what monastic life will provide you with. But after that you have to develop Samma Vayamo, which means right exertion. What do you exert yourself on? You exert yourself on developing mindfulness, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi, and Samma Chitti, Samma Sankappo. So that's why you have to walk, sit mindfully, being mindful all the time. From the time you get up to the time you go to sleep, you must continuously stop your mind from wandering, thinking about this and that. You have to use something to stop it. You can use a mantra, you repeat Bhutto, Bhutto all the time, reciting Bhutto mentally, not verbally. Or you can watch your body movement, every action of your body. You keep watching it, focusing on this action. So in order to keep your mind from going somewhere else. If you cannot focus on your body, then you use a mantra. If you watch your body and you still go on to think about Australia, think about Korea, think about places, people and things, then you need a mantra or chanting. You can mentally chant Arahang Samma Savakato Supatipanno Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Or you can use Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. This will bring your mind back to the here and now, to the present. Stop it from wandering around, going to the past or going to the future. If your mind is not in the present, it cannot become peaceful and calm. So you need mindfulness to bring your mind to be here and now, to be focused on one object, one thing. Body, mantra, when you sit on your breath. If you can do this, then your mind will enter into samadhi. When your mind becomes peaceful and calm, you'll discover the real happiness. The happiness that arises from concentrated mind, rested mind, still mind, upekkha mind. Once you have this, you will have the ability to resist your cravings and your desire. And the goal is to resist or to destroy your cravings, your desire, because they're the one that drives you around samsara, drive you to go take rebirth, and causing you suffering, dukkha. But if you have strong mindfulness, you can stop your desire, accompanied with your wisdom, the wisdom of the Buddha that show us that to do what the desire wants you to do is creating suffering for yourself, not happiness. Like wanting to go here and there, this is a desire. It doesn't bring you peace or happiness. It just brings you more desire. You will want to go more places. You have to sit down and concentrate your mind for it to become still. Once it becomes still, then you don't want to go anywhere. You find peace, you find contentment. Going around the world doesn't bring you any contentment. Bring you restlessness. So you have to find a place and stop your mind from going. It's what a monastery is for you to stop your mind from wandering around. But somehow your mind can sneak out of the monastery. Without you knowing it, that you're sneaking out of the monastery. You think you have a good reason to come out of the monastery. Right? And actually you're sneaking out of the monastery. You don't want to be kept inside the monastery. Because you cannot stop your mind from being restless. Because you don't have mindfulness. If you don't develop mindfulness, you'll be keep running around, doing all sorts of things. But you'll never find peace or contentment from what you do.
Is it always by being in one place and developing concentration only that you are not restless? Can it be possible sometimes I'm in the long meditation retreat and I'm becoming more and more restless? In my short experience, sometimes in an intensive retreat, half the time I was peaceful, half the time my mind was more crazy than.
That's because you don't have mindfulness to stop it.
Yeah, so how do I develop mindfulness even in this?
Like I told you, just keep repeating the mantra. Don't think. When you think, you become restless, you go crazy. If you stick to the mantra, then your mind will be peaceful and calm. You're not sticking to your mantra.
Normally working more with anapanasati, not with mantra.
Yeah, anapanasati is only good when you sit, but you don't sit all the time. You walk, you do things, then you need a mantra to stop you from thinking.
Is all thinking to be avoided?
Yes, as much as possible.
In all stages?
That's the first stage when you develop samadhi. After you have samadhi, then you think in terms of wisdom. You think in terms of anicca, dukkha, anatta. Whatever you want, you will say they are anicca. They are useless. They hurt you more than help you. You want something, that thing that you want will disappear one day. Because they are anicca. Consider everything to be anicca, anatta. Anatta, you cannot control them. You cannot tell them to be with you, to be good to you, to serve you all the time. Sooner or later, it will rebel. It will no longer serve you. It will no longer make you happy. So you have to look at everything as anicca, dukkha, anatta. What you see, what you hear, these are all anicca, dukkha, anatta. So you should not delight in them. You should abandon them. You should let go of them. Don't go after them. What you should go after is samadhi or internal happiness. This is the way to get rid of your craving by thinking in the way of panya. Panya is to think that everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta. But you have to have samadhi to be able to let go of everything once you see that everything is bad for you.
Everything is bad for me.
Yeah, everything is bad. Everything in this world is bad for the mind. It will only make the mind unhappy sooner or later. Because everything is impermanent. Everything will change, everything will disappear. Even this body is anicca, dukkha, anatta. You have to contemplate on the body also, anicca, dukkha, anatta. And not just your body, everybody's body. Your father, your mother, your sister, your brother, your husband, your son, your daughter. Everybody that you love, you should contemplate that they are all impermanent. But that is the later stage. The first stage is to stop your thinking first. If you cannot stop your thinking, you cannot direct it to think in the way of panya, or wisdom. Because you would like to think in terms of kilesa, defilement. If you think, this person is my father, my sister, or they are somebody belonging to you. You want them to last forever. And when they don't, when they die, you become sad. You become unhappy. But you think that they are not your father, your mother. They are just bodies. They are hair of the head, hair of the body, nail, teeth, skin. No father, no mother in this body. Your father and your mother, your sister is in the mind, in their mind, not in their body. So when their body dies, they don't die with their body, with the body. They go with the mind to a new body. So there's no reason to be sad. Nobody dies. Your father doesn't die, your mother doesn't die, your sister, your brother doesn't die. It's their bodies that die. The body, the Buddha says, is anatta, doesn't belong to anybody. It belongs to the four elements. Come from the four elements and it will go back to the four elements. See, this is the element, taking in water element, air element. See. Food you take in is the earth element. Rice comes from the earth, right? And when it goes into the body, it becomes hair of the head, hair of the skin, hair of the body, become nail, teeth, and so forth. They all come from the four elements. And when this body stops breathing, then the four elements separate. The body, the water go one way, the air go one way, go back to the air, rejoin, reconnect with the air. The water reconnect with the water. All that is left is the earth element. When you cremate, all you have left is ashes and fragments of bone. Where is you? Where are you? Where are you? Yeah. You're not here. Nothing. There's no you in this body. Nobody in this body. You know this fella? He came from. Did you come together? No. Okay.
Question is,
What's your name? What's your name? Come up here.
Me? Billy.
Come on up here. We are in the English session, so we want to get everything through. Where do you come from?
Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. What's your ethnic background?
I'm sorry?
What's your ethnic background?
Chinese.
Chinese. From D.C.
Yeah.
So, you're here by yourself?
Yes.
Who recommends you to come here?
Ajahn Nando.
Where? Who?
Wat Yannasangwararam.
You've been there?
Yes.
How long have you stayed there?
5 days, 4 nights.
That's the first monastery in Thailand?
Yes.
You came directly from Washington D.C. to come to Thai monastery?
I first went to Myanmar, Burma, and I went to some monasteries there as well.
And what made you come over to Myanmar and Thailand?
I'm trying to learn.
Trying to learn. You could learn in the States.
The only place that I'm aware of that can teach this thing before I came here was Abhijato. That was the only one that I was aware of.
Where? Abhijato?
Yeah.
In San Francisco?
Yeah. But they don't take people very long.
Have you heard of Wat Metta, Ajahn Jeff?
I just did a couple of days ago.
Just found out.
I just found out.
Yeah, he's in San Diego.
Oh, he's in San Diego?
Yeah.
I used to live in San Diego.
And the place called Valley Center.
Oh my God. I used to live very close to there.
Yeah. You can go back there.
It's a big trip to find this out.
You have to go around the world to find what you want to.
Okay.
So how long you plan to be in Thailand?
Maybe another. Well, I have to be back in the United States by May 11th.
May 11. So 1 week, 8 days from today.
Yeah.
Have to go back to work?
No, I signed up for a Goenka class.
Goenka class. There are Goenka classes here in Thailand.
But they're all sold out.
Oh, you're sold out.
Yeah.
Sold out.
They're
All booked out.
They're all booked out. Sorry.
So the first monastery you went to in Thailand is Wat Yannasangwararam.
Yes, I went to Amaravati a couple of times.
Amaravati.
Yeah.
In England.
Mm-hmm.
Have you met Ajahn Sumedho
Yes.
in Amaravati or in Thailand?
No, in neither place.
Or you meet him somewhere else?
I met him at the City of 10,000 Buddhas.
That's in California, isn't it? I heard he's back in Thailand now.
He is right now in Australia,
Australia.
but he will be back in June.
He's the first foreign disciple of Ajahn Chah. And once he became monks, other Westerners came and followed him. And when there are many Western monks, Ajahn Chah established the Wat Yannasangwararam for the international monks. And then after that, they start to go abroad to establish monasteries. First, I think they went to England, and then other places follow. So what do you want to know? And is that yesterday you want to ask a couple more questions?
I think I distilled it down to just one, and I think you already answered it. I just wanted to ask you where I should go and learn.
Did you get my book yesterday?
I did. I have, before I came, I have your 3 books.
Okay.
They gave it to me at Wat Yannasangwararam.
Alright. So, a place to practice is, you want to find a place that will support or enhance your practice. So you need a quiet place, quiet environment, and you need a good, people who do the same thing, like the people who like to practice meditation, and you need a good teacher to guide you. So in Thailand we go to monasteries because that's where it's the best place to develop meditation. You have like-minded people who want to develop meditation, and they also have in the monastery there is also an abbot who usually is a teacher also. Most of forest monastery are established with a singular monk, by a singular monk. This monk, before he became a teacher or became an abbot, he studied with a teacher in a monastery. And after he practiced and developed his practice until he became proficient, became enlightened, then he would just went alone to establish his own monastery. And when people heard of his wisdom, heard of his monastery, they flocked to him. So they become another monastery. This is how the forest tradition monastery are built by each individual monk, enlightened, or at least, I'm not sure fully enlightened or not, but capable of meditation, let's put it that way. So these are the places that you would like to go to practice in forest monasteries. But you have to look for the right one for you. Since you don't speak Thai, you want to go to a monastery where your teacher will speak Thai, will speak your language, or at least somebody there can translate his teaching. Ajahn Sumeto, when he went to Ajahn Chah didn't speak English and he didn't speak Thai. And they asked Ajahn Chah, how do you teach someone who doesn't speak your language? Ajahn Chah said, how do you teach a dog? You teach them by example. See? Most of the teaching really in what your teacher does, by his action, by his example. Okay, there might be verbal things you need to say, but if you cannot say, at least you can teach by your physical action. So is that what you want to know?
Is there a specific place you would recommend for me?
Well, you're going back to Goenka.
It's only for 10 days.
Uh-huh.
There will be it's not a permanent.
Okay, I have an American monk. He's Luang Ta Mahabua disciple. His name is Ajahn Dick. Have you ever heard of his name? Ajahn Dick. Dick Sila Ratano. He just recently established a monastery in Virginia.
Really?
Yeah. So you can look that up somewhere, maybe in the... Just write Ajahn Dick, D-I-C-K, Sila, S-I-L-A-R-A-T-A-N-O.
Sila Ratano.
Yeah, Ajahn Dick said. He's previously of Wat Pabantat, formerly of Wat Pabantat. He stayed with Ajahn Mahabua for at least over 20 years. Until he's dead, I think.
Ajahn Mahabua?
Ajahn Mahabua. He's also my teacher, Ajahn Mahabua. So we are contemporary students of Ajahn Mahabua. And I heard he went back to Virginia. He came from Virginia.
I live in Virginia right now.
Oh, really?
Sounds good.
Yeah, this sounds perfect.
In the forest somewhere in Virginia. I'm not sure which county or which. You just have to look it up. That's around.
Thank you.
Is that all you want to know?
I have a question. I think when I hear that practice is necessary for the whole life, I think I understand some part of it, that it cannot be just very quickly done. So it does mean that I need to be able to dedicate my life just to the practice. But I do not have I don't find the idea of samsara, that I've been just wondering for aeons of life, that it was kind of me who's been reborn and have been living and will be reborn. So without believing in samsara, without concrete belief in samsara and rebirth, I find that using this life only for the practice practically difficult. And I'm trying to understand samsara and rebirth, but then I guess, do you have any explanation or helpful things you might practical.
To inspire you to practice?
Yeah, in which way can I actually understand them or dedicate my life only for one purpose of exiting samsara when I don't yet see the light? Samsara sounds like a very scary idea.
Sometimes, things you cannot see by yourself, so you have to have faith on somebody else. That's why faith in the Buddha is important in Buddhism.
Yeah, I was a Christian when I was young, so in a way, for me, it's a little bit difficult to believe in something now. Just knowing that I could have believed something in Christianity, it doesn't prove that it was the truth.
The difference is, in Buddhism, the what you believe in can be proved by yourself. Yeah, can be proved. But you need to have belief in order to get yourself started.
Yeah.
Like you have to believe in the doctor who will help you fix your ailment. When you're sick, you go to the doctor, right? So you believe that he is capable of helping you, curing yourself. It's the same way with the Buddha. You go to the Buddha because you believe that he can help you cure your suffering. And suffering doesn't have to involve samsara or any realm of rebirth. You are suffering right now, this very day. You run into unhappiness all the time, right? Or dissatisfaction.
But even during the practice, when I encounter difficulties or dissatisfaction, or in a, let's say, monastic life, there is difficulties, dissatisfaction, how to encounter that, or how to deal with that?
Stick with your practice.
Just stay with the practice.
Yeah, you're not sticking with your practice, so that's when you become attacked by your own defilement.
Yeah.
But if you stick to your practice, then you are protected. You will be protected, and you won't feel dissatisfied or unhappy or anything like that.
Whole time.
Yes, mindfulness of time in mind. You have to be mindful all the time, from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. If you have mindfulness, then you can stop your mind from creating all sort of dissatisfaction and restlessness. Mindfulness is the controller of your thought. Yeah. It's like the braking system of an automobile. If you drive a car without the brakes, you cannot stop it, right? So it's going to run and crash into something all the time. It's the same with your mind. If you don't have mindfulness, your mind keeps running into sadness, dissatisfaction all the time. But if you have mindfulness, it will stop the mind from being restless, being dissatisfied. That's why I said from the start that you need mindfulness. Just tell yourself every time when you're dissatisfied or restless or sad, it means you don't have mindfulness. You let your mind go and become involved with whatever you see, with whatever you think. You have to bring your mind back to emptiness, to a mantra. Mantra doesn't have any meaning. Doesn't create any feelings. So you think of your father, your mother, you start to worry about them. Right? Or you think of your financial status, you start to worry about it. But you don't think, then there's no problem, right? The problem is out there. See? It's still there, but if you don't think about it, it don't come. They don't bother you. So that way. But when you start to think about them, then they start to bother you. But right now you're here. See? All the problems that you have previously, they don't bother you right now because you don't think about them. But when you go back to face their old problem, then they start to bother you. Or not even going back, just to think about them. So it's your thought that creates all these bad feelings inside you. And it's mindfulness and wisdom that will be able to entirely, completely get rid of all these bad feelings. At least mindfulness will stop you from thinking about them. And if you have wisdom will tell you how to tackle them. And you can tackle with all problems, all difficulties. All you have to do is let go of them. That's all. But you can't let go of them. You cling to them. And you want them to be what you want them to be. But sometimes they don't be what you want them to be. That's when the problem starts. Like your body, you want your body to be young and strong and healthy all the time. But one day it's not going to follow what you want. It's going to be old, it's going to get sick, and it's going to die. But you can live with that and can still be happy if you know how to let go of the body. You don't want to let go of the body because you think the body belongs to you. By thinking this way, it costs you misery, it costs you suffering. If you look at the body that doesn't belong to you, then you could tell us what happened to it, right? What you should look at the body. It doesn't belong to you. You got it from your father and your mother, and one day you're going to have to return it to the cemetery. That's where the body goes, right? So you have to be prepared, teach your mind to let go of the body. You don't own the body. You rent the body, let's put it that way. Right? You rent a car at the airport. Then you return the car when you go back to the airport to catch a flight. And when you die, it's like catching a new flight to go to the new body, to go to the new airport. When you get to a new airport, you rent a new car. Your body is like a car that you rent from existence to existence. Because you still want to travel, you still want to go here and there. Because you're not satisfied being where you are. The reason why you're not satisfied is because your mind is restless. If you can stop your restlessness, then you will be satisfied, and you don't want to go anywhere. Then you don't have to go rent a new car. When the old car, when you have to return the old car, then you stop renting a new car. You stop traveling. You stop going places because you're happy. You're content. You're not restless anymore. That's what mindfulness will do for you. You'll stop your restlessness. It will make you content. But it can only make you stop your restlessness and make you content temporarily. Anytime when you lose your mindfulness, your restlessness come back. If you want to get rid of your restlessness totally, completely, then you need wisdom. You have to look at everything that you desire or you crave for, that you want, that they are bad for you, not good for you. The only thing good for you is to be peaceful and calm. If you follow your craving, follow your desire, you'll keep following them, like going after your own shadow. You will never be able to catch your shadow that casts ahead of you. Every time you go after it, it keeps moving away from you. Every time you desire for something, once you get that something, then there's something else you want. So you just keep chasing after your own cravings.
Even the desire to understand things is not helpful.
There are good desire that is good for you. The desire to meditate, the desire to develop mindfulness. These are good. The desire to practice Dhamma, this is good.
But desire to understand what is samsara, what is rebirth.
Yeah, the desire to study the truth. It has to be the truth. And not just the conventional truth, but the real truth, the absolute truth. That is the Four Noble Truths. That's what you want to study. Because once you understand the Four Noble Truths, you can then apply your knowledge of this Four Noble Truths to your advantage. You know, the first two Noble Truths is harmful to you. See? The truth of suffering and the truth of the cause of suffering. This is harmful to you. And the other two truths, the third and fourth one, they are beneficial for you. The truth of the cessation of suffering and the truth of the path toward that cessation of suffering. Right now what you're lacking is the path to that cessation of suffering. That's why you have to come and develop the Noble Eightfold Path. And in practice you need to start from Sila, Samadhi and Panya. So you manage the first step. You can keep the precept now, right? Now you have to go to the next step. Develop Samadhi. In order to develop Samadhi, you have to have mindfulness. If you're not mindful, if you let your mind think endlessly, you will never have Samadhi. Samadhi is the result of you stopping thinking. So you have to somehow stop your mind from thinking. So you need mindfulness to do this. Once you get Samadhi, then you can go to the next step, Panya or wisdom. Panya will tell you that everything that you crave for, desire for, they are bad for you. They are dukkha. Anicca, dukkhang, anatta. Why are they dukkha? Because they are anicca. They don't last forever. It might be good for you when you first get it, but when you lose it, then it becomes dukkha. And everything you have, you will lose it one day, sooner or later. So once you have Samadhi, then you have to contemplate on anicca, dukkhang, anatta of everything. The nature, everything is anicca, dukkhang, anatta. Be it people, places, or things, they are anicca, dukkhang, anatta.
Is it good to think that terms, even though
you don't have Samadhi yet?
Samadhi yet?
Yeah, but you cannot let go of them, see. You don't have the strength to stop your attachment.
No.
If you have Samadhi, then you can let go. Your mind will be stronger than your attachment. That's what you need to have first. And Samadhi also will give you happiness, so that you can let go of the other kind of happiness. But if you don't have Samadhi, then you will cling to whatever even if it gives you suffering, at least you can still find some happiness from that.
The problem with Samadhi seems it's yet difficult to sustain it.
I know. If it's easy, then everybody becomes enlightened.
Yeah, to lose it.
That's why you have to go into seclusion. That's the only way to develop mindfulness. Yeah, continuously. Because if you are around things and people, they distract your concentration. But if you're alone, then there's only one thing that you fight with, is your own thoughts.
Do you recommend ordination to many people? Or
I highly recommend if they can do it.
You hardly recommend?
I highly recommend.
You highly recommend?
If they can do it. It's not easy, because if you're not ready for it, you'll find like going to hell.
More suffering.
Yeah, more suffering. So you have to have a certain amount of mindfulness, enough for you to live a monastic life. Because when you live in a monastic life, you have to give up your sensual pleasure. You have to give up all this activity through your five senses. No movie, no party, no anything. Only one thing you want to have is mindfulness, in order to bring your mind into peace and happiness inside. If you can do this, then I think being ordained is the best thing. But if you can't achieve this yet, you might try it, you might do it, but you might not last. There are many people who became monks and mechi or Bhikkhuni, and after a few years they drop the white flag.
Yes.
Because they cannot find peace or satisfaction, contentment, because their mind is still restless. That's because they don't know how to develop mindfulness. Mindfulness is simple. It's just the persistence that you need to keep sticking to your mindfulness.
I find that I'm very affected by the different situations. So not easy to sustain samadhi.
Yeah,
To a level I'm content.
Yeah,
Happy.
you need to be alone and constantly pushing yourself to be mindful. Once you achieve that, everything will become easy. Once you have mindfulness, when you sit, you have samadhi. When you contemplate on anicca, dukkha, anatta, you can let go. You can let go. That's why I say the key to your practice is mindfulness. Like the key to your automobile. If you lose your key, then that automobile means nothing to you because you cannot drive it anywhere. It's the same way with your mind. If you have no mindfulness, you cannot drive your mind to a nibbana. It will take you around samsara instead.
Thank you. That was helpful.
Okay. Anything else? Where do you stay?
At a hotel.
At a hotel. How'd you get here? Motorcycle?
Yes.
An hotel in Pattaya?
Yeah. I just rented it. Cheapest thing I can find.
We have some Americans here. We have one monk from Wat Metta. He's American. He's been monk for 5 years. He practiced at Wat Metta in San Diego. But he found the place not quite sort of good enough for his practice. So he wants to come and practice in a Thai forest monastery. So he came here and stayed here. Been here for several months now. And we have 2 candidates for ordination coming up on the 14th of May. One Chinese, Korean American. His name is Shen. He lives in New York. And he's going to ordain here. And another fellow from Brazil.
It's international here.
Yeah. We have quite many different nationalities. We already now have American monk, Singaporean monk, French monk, German monk. So we'll have 2 more American monk and Brazilian monk.
Did they get regular, like English teaching, or they just have to learn Thai in this setting?
They just read my books, and if they have any question, they come and ask me. And we have one Romanian white robe. He's from Romania. And he plans to stay here for a long time. He said he wants to stay until the end of the year. Here we just have a place for them to practice. And they have to strive on their own, to study on their own and to practice on their own. But if they have any difficulty or they don't understand something, they can ask me. But here nobody push you. Some other monasteries, you have a good teacher, a strong teacher. Some teacher will push you or will try to drive you to keep practicing. But here it's up to you.
Is it a normal Thai monastery style, or it's just your style?
Well, pretty much normal forest monastery style. It's like this. The difference is the teacher. There's no, since I'm not an abbot here, I don't consider myself to be the teacher.
You're not the abbot?
No.
Okay, I thought you were.
Well, this place belongs to the land belongs to the Thai Forestry Department, belongs to the government, and they allow us to stay and practice. And the monk, all of us here, is affiliated to the temple below, and the temple below has an abbot. Yeah. But they appoint me to be the leader of the monks up here, but not an abbot, because since this isn't really a monastery, it's a government land. So this is like a place where monks go wandering in the forest and practice.
Ajahn, you were talking about not going around in, as far as I understand, both in the Vinaya and in the very commonly, at least in the Ajahn Chah tradition, they usually encourage you to stay in the monastery for your first 5 years as after you fully ordained. But then after that, they actually encourage you to actually learn from different teachers before you settle to maybe one way of practice or one style of a certain teacher or something like that. But I got the impression from what you were saying that you actually don't follow that, or you don't encourage to agree with that kind of style of practice?
No, you stay 5 years with a teacher, so you eventually will develop a certain style of practice within that 5 years. So you don't need a new teacher for that. When you go away, it doesn't mean for you to go to a different monastery to look for different teaching from different teachers. When you go away from your monasteries, because when you stay in the monastery, sometimes you are burdened by the responsibility of the monastery, and you cannot practice full time. So sometimes you want to go away from the monastery to a quiet, secluded place, and so you can practice full time. That's what the purpose of going away from a monastery, to seek seclusion. But you have to already be in the level in which you can protect yourself and teach yourself. At least you should know what you need, what you want, what you should do. See, first when you have to stay with a teacher, because when you're newly ordained or when you start practicing, you don't know what you should do or what you shouldn't do. So you stay with a teacher, so the teacher will tell you what to do, like develop mindfulness. Once you're capable of controlling your mind, even though you cannot yet get rid of your cravings, at least you can control your mind to become calm, peaceful, not restless. And you find that living in the monastery, you are burdened with some other responsibility. So you want to go away from this responsibility, so you can have more time for your practice. Then you ask permission from your teacher. And your teacher, if your teacher sees that you are capable and you really want to be alone for your practice, then he will let you go. But if you want to go just because you feel restless and you want to go someplace else, he won't let you go. If you insist going, he'll say, "Oh, you can go, but don't come back."
What's the role of community life and solitude? Is it always solitude the best and community life as little as possible?
Community life is for the beginning, when you are still in the hatching stage. Like eggs, you need to be in hatchery to help you. Once you get hatched, you want to develop on your own. Because when you live in community, you tend to associate, tend to have attachment, tend to have clinging activities, which will sometimes just disturb your practice. Because if somebody gets sick, you have to go look after them. They go to the hospital, you have to go visit them. They die, you have to go to their funeral, so forth. So you end up doing all this uselessness, not doing what you're supposed to be doing, to meditate. So after you have developed a certain basic ability, then if you think you can practice on your own, then you should seek permission from your teacher to go seek seclusion, not to go to other monasteries, to other teachers. Once you have found a good teacher, every teacher, they're all the same. They teach the Four Noble Truths. They teach you to meditate. They teach you to develop mindfulness. It's all the same. So you don't want to go to another teacher. 10 teachers, they teach you the same thing, basically. Except you might have some problem, some question, and maybe your teacher cannot solve your problem. Then maybe you have to go look for another teacher who might be able to solve your problem for you. But you have to have a purpose, not just to go, just as an excuse to go away,
So, in terms of
Go
Is
ahead.
it okay?
Yeah.
It's in terms of, especially as a nun, that the requisites and support may not be as readily available. And 5 years, 5 buses is very junior. So to have support for really seclusion may not be readily available, as opposed to go to another monastery that may be more conducive in terms of environment. Like if it's a monastery in the West, usually it's quite busy because they're still building up. But in Thailand, many places already quite settled down and they're really well supported.
If the purpose is for you to go and have a better place of practice, then it's okay. But you should seek the permission from your teacher first. Because sometimes place you go might not be good for you, even though you might think it's good for you. I don't know. Your teacher should be they are like your parents. They have more experience than you, and they might be able to see some of the problems that you might not see, that you might encounter when you go. Once you have a teacher, you have to respect his decision. But if you find that he's not the right teacher or he's the wrong teacher, then it's okay to break away from him also. So there's nothing absolute in this thing. You have to use many factors to decide what is best for you.
So the aim is always at the end, as much as you can, if
you have time to practice.
Because time to practice and in solitude to do your meditation.
Yeah.
That's and everything else is only if you are still learning or you don't know what you're doing, then you
need
stay
a
in community.
Yeah.
What about like Tudong, or in the past more like pilgrims where they actually...
That's what I mean. Tudong is to go away to seek seclusion. When a monk goes Tudong, he goes alone. But just to have seclusion and to have the time to practice all the time. When you go Tudong, you are by yourself. When you go on Bintabat, it only takes 20 minutes or so. When you come back, you eat another half an hour. Then you're free to practice all day long. But if you're in the monastery, it might take 3 or 4 hours before you finish your meal activities. And the surrounding is not quiet. You got people coming and going. You got lay people coming to give food. You got lay people to come in and stay and go. You sort of have all sort of coming and going. And if you're part of the monastery, you might have to have some responsibility to help with the monastery. So you end up doing a lot of work that you shouldn't be doing. They're good work, but they're not good for you. That's all. The work that's good for you is to meditate.
So what about? Can I ask in your own experience, how long did you spend with the teacher and how long did you use your time as a bhikkhu in seclusion until you feel ready that you can teach all the time?
Well, first when I look for a monastery, I wanted a monastery that has nothing to do with any other activities except meditation. And I was fortunate to run into Luang Ta Mahabua. He's very, very, very keen on meditation only. So he won't allow monks to take up invitation to go out and chanting to people's houses and things like that. And then monk who go and stay with him must stay with him for 5 years. Cannot go anywhere except for emergency cases. And when they're in the monastery, they're supposed to not to cling around, not to associate with other monks. Everyone lives separately, and everyone do their own practice. Anytime you see 2 monks together, he'll chase them away. And if they kept doing it, he'll chase them out, get rid of them, chase them out of the monastery. Yeah, so I was fortunate. Because when I ordained, I was looking for a place to practice. Because I have already practiced on my own, and I already have a teacher. My teacher was the Buddha, monastery. I read his books, his discourses, and I found that I could use his teaching to guide me. So what I did need was a monastery, some place where I can totally concentrate on my practice. Before that, I was a lay person, and I live in the house, so the environment is not as good. It's good enough. I live alone. I can practice on my own, but still there are other things that I not lacking. That you need to have. You need some environment which can scare you and cause you, some hardship, because then it will increase your intensity of your practice to counter those hardships. So I decided to become a monk, and I was looking for a monastery where it encourages only practice, and I found this monastery in Ajahn. And after having stayed with him, I found him to be very helpful in his teaching. I learned so many things more than I learned from the book. There are things that you cannot get from the book. So I stayed with him for 9 rain residents, and he allowed me to come and visit my parents only twice within these 9 years. But I wasn't looking for my parents. I was looking for something else. So visiting my parents wasn't my concern. I only go because they send me news that they get sick. Okay, so you have to go, go pay a visit, show your concern and so forth. But my concern was to take care of my mind. So I wasn't concerned about going here and there, look for a teacher or something, because I already know basically what I have to do. All I need was just the full foundation of mindfulness. Have you searched that yet?
I wrote it down.
Yeah. Okay. Read that sutta. It will tell you exactly what you're supposed to do. Have you heard of it? Have you read it? Will you follow the instruction in that sutta?
I try.
Okay. The Buddha said if you can do what he told you in that sutta, he guarantee you to become enlightened within 7 days. If not 7 days, then 7 months. If not 7 months, then 7 years. Why don't you believe him? Why do you have to go look for other teachers? You got the best teacher already. Who could be better than the Buddha? Because you didn't understand, or you didn't think that you can do it. So the problem is you. You cannot apply his teaching to your practice. If you can apply his teaching to your practice, then you don't need anything anymore. You need a place to practice. Okay. Have anything else? So I can give my time to other people.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Have you ever heard of a booklet called Guide to Thailand Monasteries? It will list all the monasteries in Thailand, on the meditation monasteries. What kind of teacher, what does he teach, what food you would expect, what kind of accommodation and so forth. Just search in the Google, Guide to Thai monasteries. They will. That's how I found my temple, my monastery before I was ordained. I got this booklet. I read all the book and
I read it was there 40 years ago.
Yeah. It was compiled by an American monk then, but he disrobed. His name is Jack Cornfield. I'm not sure if you heard of him before. So how many monasteries you want to go?
We're leaving tomorrow. We're going back to Perth tomorrow.
How many monasteries have you been to?
I think this is the third one.
Third one.
Yeah. We mostly stay with Lumpur Gangha because of Well, Ajahn Brahm actually in his talk sometimes mention his name of such a good monk he is. So some of us who learn from Ajahn Brahm kind of get inspiration. And recently, a fellow Bhikkhuni, she's quite old, so her son sponsored a trip to see Longpa Ganha, and she shared that with the Westerners, and we kind of some of us got interested. So most of the time we were with Longpa Ganha, and then towards the end we thought we'd just see a couple of places.
What other monastery beside Longpa Ganha?
This one and Longpo Utai's monastery is quite close to Longpo Ganha, is on the way to Bangkok. So
We also met Ajahn Jayasara when he was giving a talk
Jayasara.
from his hermitage. It's all the same area he was in.
It was in Patron.
Ratanawan? No, Ratana.
Aratanawan, we visited.
That's where Ajahn Sumedho stays.
Yes. We didn't get to meet anyone.
Yeah, they didn't have reception for anyone on that day. They were all venerating.
So you're satisfied with your trip?
It's satisfying.
Yes, it's been good. It's really good.
Okay.
For me, I am beginner to the Buddhist practice, and I would keep asking her or other people, have you met Arahant? Do you know what Arahant's like? Can you describe to me, etc.? So in a way, for me, it was important to see if I start practicing, what can I expect? What kind of person could I become? In a way, it was important that I needed to see what.
You live in Australia? Or?
No, I'm Korean, but I lived in different places in Europe and New Zealand more. Australia, I just visited.
Working
and studying there.
So where do you base now? In Korea or?
Most recently, I was in Korea for a year. Before I was studying in France for 2 years.
Always going someplace?
I was working a lot in different places.
Have you found the right place to settle yet?
No, there is no right place.
Okay, I'll give the Numutana. เดี๋ยวจะให้พรนะใครจะถามอะไรก็ถามยะถาวาริวาหาปุราปาริปุเรนติสาคารังเอวเมวะอิโตทินังเปตานังอุปกัปปติอิชิตังปัฏิตังตุมหังคิปะเมวะสมิจจตุสัพเพปุเรนตุสังกปาจันโทปนะระโสยะถามณิโชติระโสยะถาสัพพิติโยวิวัชชันตุสัพพะโรโควินัสตุมาเตภวัตวันตรายโยสุขีทีคายุโกภวะอภิวาทนาสีลิสะนิจังวุธาปจายโนจตารโหธรรมาวาทานติอายุวันโนสุขังภาลังI'm not sure if ท่านอาจารย์Dick I heard he doesn't stay there all the time. He come to Thailand sometimes. Maybe for fundraising or something, maybe because he needs support to go and build monastery there. But I think I have some Thai people who live in the Washington area. They took some picture on the monastery. Looks nice in the forest like this.
Thank you.
But it's only still in the early stage of building the monastery, so it might not have all the facilities. But at least if there's someone you can talk to, if he happens to be there.
Thank you.
Okay. You leaving tomorrow or today?
We'll be leaving tomorrow.
Okay. Good luck to you on your practice. Okay. Try to concentrate all your effort and time for the practice. Concentrate all your time and effort toward the practice. And stop running around. look for a place to practice and practice. Sometimes you're just in the process of looking for a place to practice, but never found one. Just keep looking. So you have to decide which is the best option for you, then take it. There is never a perfect place for you. There will always be something lacking. So you just have to select the best one that you have found.
Sorry, can I just ask, how come you don't recommend Wat Yannasangwararam for this gentleman?
I didn't say anything like that, did I?
Oh,
He said
because when he asked for a recommendation, you recommend someone in.
Because he's in America. So what? It's not in Thailand. Be practical. Recommend him someplace nearby, which is just as good.
It's not the open door. Asking about the donation could be good.
And he's been to Wat Yannasangwararam, so what do I have to recommend him? He knows better than I do. I never been to Wat Yannasangwararam. Come on, silly, what are you talking about?
Just wondering. Thank you, Ajahn,
Thank
for
you
all
very
your
much.
time.
Yeah. If you want to stay and talk with other Western monks, you can wait here. They come about after 4 o'clock and to have some drinks at that place here. If you want to talk to some of them, you can stay around. Wait for them.